Hello again. I welcome Jasper Deprez from TerraSpark. They try to do a thing that sounds a bit futuristic and maybe not even doable, but they're very serious about it. Hi, Jasper. Nice to have you.
Nice to talk to you, Ralf.
So, what are you guys doing? And maybe first you introduce yourself very briefly. How did you get to this energy out of space down to Earth? And what's your background briefly?
Yeah, so about a year ago, I was literally sitting in the dark. So
Okay.
I live in Spain, and we had the blackout. I don't know if you remember that. And the
Yeah, I
entire
do.
Spain was out of energy for about 8 hours.
Yeah.
And the videos that we probably remember from that event is people having parties on the street, which is
Mhm.
true. That is kind of like the first 8 hours. But I live in a tiny village, and the moment that the energy went back on, our grid connection got overloaded, and we were out of energy for 6.5 days. So
Wow.
sitting in the dark was literally the reason for searching the light, I guess. So I've been looking at energy since 2021. I've built companies myself in the software space, but energy was always something that I thought is the next, well, not the next, but is a continuous big thing to go and focus on. And the blackout in Spain actually pushed me to look into solutions to that problem.
I see. Yeah. And you're well underway. You have started, you have a small team, a core team, very experienced folks who are out of ESA. That's actually how I learned to know about it since I was reading about it. And so your CTO can build it, it seems. Explain very briefly for layman, how does this work? You bring down energy from outer space. That's in a nutshell what you
Yeah,
do.
so in a nutshell, yes, right? So if you think about it, we already have solar panels, right? So it's solar 2.0, I think is a way to think about it. Because when you sit in Zurich and your solar panel, there's a couple of problems with it. Problem number one is you do not capture energy during the night because there is no sun. The second is whenever there's a bad weather day, you also don't capture sunlight because there's clouds.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of sun above the clouds. So, what we do is we take the solar panel, we put it in space where you have 24/7 sunlight. There, we capture and harvest the sunlight and we translate it into energy, same like a normal solar panel. And we transmit that energy down through radio frequency, which is a technology that has been proven all the way back since Nikola Tesla.
Mhm.
And we bring that energy safely back to Earth. The value there is that you have abundant energy in space, right? The biggest fusion reactor that we can have, the sun. And because we can bring it back with radio frequency, you can bring energy flexibly to anywhere in the world at any point in time.
Okay. And the application will be remote places, like what you just described at the beginning, or just actually about everyone, or how does it look
Yeah,
like?
so space-based solar is a concept that already exists since the 70s, right? So in the 70s, they've already figured out that this can be done. But it was
Mm.
always a question of what is the cost versus the energy that you then generate. Now, everyone always starts with the question, how do we deliver the largest amount of power from space to Earth at the cheapest cost? And the outcome of that question is a mega project that sits in Geo that takes an atrocious amount of capex and ridiculous amount of time. In TerraSpark, we changed that question. We asked the question, what is the smallest scalable and viable space-based solar power company that we can build? And that sits already in Leo. Yes, the energy is more expensive compared to energy that we buy here in Europe, but there are already places and use cases in the world where we are competitive with our price. So we
Mm.
start with premium customers, and then from there we scale out till eventually we are able to go and deliver energy anywhere in the world at a competitive price.
Right. Okay. Talking about price and cost, we go into this then at the event, since your European venture, and we expect this will cost, of course, a bit to make it live, and even more so that you're doing this out of out of Europe, where we maybe have 100 to 1,000 or 10,000 x less the resources, but you are onto it, and looking forward to having you at the event, and yeah, and then discussing this in some more depth. Thanks, Jasper. You have a great day.
Looking forward, Ralf. Cheerio.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye.